right, Mario. It is here, the NHL playoffs. Oh boy, I've been waiting for this for a mighty long time, Mario. The 56 game season ended a couple days ago, or at least my team did anyway. I know there's a couple more teams that have their final game today, but we're not talking about those teams. You know why? We're talking about the damn playoffs, Mario. And we're only gonna, so as of right now, we're only gonna talk about the series that's starting in the weekend because we don't record on the weekend, and then whatever series that begins over the week over the weekdays. We'll talk about it then. So there's four of them. There's one on Saturday, three on Sunday. So without further ado, Mario, you already know who's starting off the NHL playoffs. Give it to me, Mario. Give it to me, man. It's the number two Capitals and the number three Bruins. Oh man, I've been waiting for this guy. Let me tell you something, Mario. Okay, both teams have done an absolutely fantastic job this year. You know, Capitals made a smart move. They got Sandino Chara from the Bruins. And the Bruins, I honestly thought were gonna not be good this year because of it, but they've held their own without Santino Chara, and they've done a really good job. They made a great trade deadline move. They got Taylor Hall, and ever since then, the Bruins have been one of the best teams in the league. And before they got Taylor Hall, you know, one problem with the Bruins is that they weren't consistent. You know, and ever since Taylor Hall came in, he's done an absolutely incredible job for the Boston Bruins, and he wants to stay. And I'm very excited to see what the future holds for him in Boston. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, Mario. And I'm not trying to be biased here or anything. This is probably gonna be the most exciting series out of all of them. I'm gonna be honest. You know, Zdeno Chara faces his old team in the playoffs. You know, the Boston Bruins are actually facing a worthy competitor in the first round for once. Forget those damn Carolina Hurricanes or the damn friggin' the Toronto Maple Leafs. Oh God, guy. But all right, who's gonna win? Obviously, you know who I'm going with, Mario. You know who the hell I'm going with. It's the Boston Bruins. But look, the series is gonna go to 7 games. I'm gonna predict it. This is not gonna be a sweep. This is not gonna be a 5, 6 game series win. No, it's gonna go to 7 games without a doubt. And you know what, Mario? This is gonna be a really hard fought series. I can see a lot of games in the series going to overtime. But at the end of the day, Mario, you know who I gotta go with. I gotta go with my Boston Bruins. That's who's winning this series. You already know.
Look, what I find very interesting about the series, I'm looking at like a preview website, and I'm gonna put that website in the description below. But they both have the same odds to win the Stanley Cup. They both have 12-1, which I find very interesting as well. And these teams are very similar, Nate. When you look at the Washington Capitals, they average 3.36 goals per game, which is third. They're tied for third in the league, and they average 2.88 goals against them per game, which is 17th in the league. Now, the Bruins, theirs is 2.93 goals per game, which is 13th in the league, and 2.39 goals against them per game, which is third, which is tied for third. So they're very similar teams, except the stats are just switched. Next thing you know, you want to look at the best goalie, which I got to give the upper hand to the Bruins. You know, Tuukka Rask has proven himself to be one of the best goalies in the game. There's no doubt about it. Now, the goalie for the Washington Capitals, Vitek Vanacek. Did I pronounce that right? Vitek Vanacek.
Yeah.
He has a record of 21-10 with 4 draws, and he has a save percentage of 90. And Tuukka Rask has a record of 15-5-2 this year, and he has a save percentage of 91. So basically, Nate, this is a very it's almost a very even series. But I'm gonna be honest with you, I got the Bruins winning it. And the guy who predicted, he said Bruins in 7. I completely agree with that. I think this is going to be a very competitive
Yeah.
series. But the one common thing that these two teams have is they got probably two of the dirtiest players in the game. Okay, you go on the Capital side. There's Tom Wilson. We expressed our problems and issues with Tom Wilson in the past. Then you got Brad Marchand, and he's a dirty player as well. But
I
both
want
of
to
them
see them two fight.
are good defensemen. You know, I expect this to be a very physical series, but at the end of the day, I think the Bruins are going to win in 7. But I think this is going to be, like you said, I think it's going to be a very exciting series. At the most exciting one, I'm not so sure, but this is going to be a very good series, Nate. But I got the Bruins in 7.
Absolutely. So do I. Go Boston. All my Boston geeks out there. Shout out to y'all out there. Go Boston. It's Sully season. All right. We got the next series this weekend that's starting on Sunday. and that is the number one Penguins and the number four Islanders. Look, Mario, let me tell you something about the Penguins, okay? They've done a very, very great job this year. Last year they barely made it into the playoffs, and I'm going to be honest, Mario. The last couple of years, the Penguins were on a steep decline. Like on the year before in 2018, with the year on the 2019, my bad, they were going down a slippery slope, like because they had just lost to the Capitals that year, who ended up winning the Stanley Cup, and they lost in the first round. They got swept by the Islanders, so they actually have their shot at redemption from that. Then after that, they barely make it into the playoffs last year from the shortened pandemic season, and then they just get obliterated. And I'm going to be honest, I had no hope for the Penguins. I didn't think they were going to recover from that. But turns out they did. They took the number one seed in the East, and they've done a very, very good job. I got to give them credit for credit is due. Now going to the Islanders, actually, before I do, let me go to the Penguins. They had 77 points this year, which is really good. They had a record of 37 and 16-3. So that's a really great record. A lot of people did not expect the Penguins to be this good this year. And they're first in the league with 3.45 goals per game, which is really good, and 2.7 goals against per game, which is 14th, and it's tied. Now going to the Islanders, obviously the Islanders have been a really good team for a few years now. They've been playoff contenders for the last, I think, 3 or 4 years in a row. So they've been a really, really good team. Um, they're 32, 17, and 7, and they scored 71 points in this season. So not bad. They had 2.7 goals per game, which is 20th in the league. It could be a little bit better, but again, at least they're getting something out of that. And they have 2.23 goals against per game, which is second in the league, which is really, really good. Um, this is going to be a really good series too, Mar. I can really see this going. This is probably another one that I can see going to 7 games as well. Um, this one's tough. I'm not gonna lie. This one is a little tough. All right. I'm gonna be bold, okay? I got the Islanders winning in 7 games. All right. I'll be bold. I'll be bold about that. I think I got the Islanders winning because you really think about the Penguins. The Penguins have a lot of goals per game. They're probably first in the league with that, which is really good. But the Islanders are good at not making those goals stack up. All those points, all those goals. So they're really, really good at that. So I have a feeling the Islanders defense is gonna do anything they can, to stop the Penguins offense. So with that being said, I'll take the Islanders in 7.
Nate, you couldn't have said it any better. I completely agree with you. When you look, first of all, the Penguins' odds to win the Stanley Cup are 12-1, and the Islanders' odds to win the Stanley Cup are 16-1. You talked about the record. Obviously, the Penguins have a better record. Then you talked about their offense, and you couldn't have been more on the mark. The Penguins average 3.45 goals per game, which is number one in the league. And however, their defense, though, they let go of 2.77 goals per game, which is 14th. Now you go to the Islanders, Nate. They get 2.71 goals per game, which is 20th in the league, which isn't that great, But their defense, man, 2.23 goals against them per game, that's second. So it's going to come down to the best offense versus the second best defense in the game. And it's going to be a very, very good game. This is the one I'm most excited about because this is an actual test of good offense versus good defense, and you just never know you just never know which one's going to win. Usually when you look at like for instance, when you look at other sports, when you look at the Seattle Seahawks versus the Denver Broncos offense, when you look at that Legion of Boom versus the offense, the Legion of Boom absolutely destroyed the Broncos offense. When you look at other games, when you look at other sports, like how defense really has impacted games, that is a very, very, it's honestly, Nate, I don't think it's that bold of a prediction because the prediction on this website has the Islanders in 6. You said in 7. So it's not really that bold of a prediction. It is an underdog pick. But honestly, Nate, I'm going to be real with you. I might have to ride with that pick. I think the Islanders end up going. I think I'm going to have to say exactly what you did. Islanders in 7. Because I just feel like good defense could beat a good offense any day. I really
Absolutely.
do. If you have a great defense, I feel like it could definitely. Now, going to the goalies, though, because this is the biggest part, Nate. The goalie for the Pittsburgh Penguins, his name is Tristan Jerry. He has a record of 25-9-3, and his save percentage is basically 90%, and he's allowed 2.75 goals per game. And then the goalie for the New York Islanders, his name is Semyon Varlamov. His record is 19-11-4, and he has a save percentage of 92.9, .929, which is basically 93%. and he's allowed 2.04 goals per game. So when you really look at it, Nate, I think the most crucial parts of the game, I think the New York Islanders beat him in. And as long as the New York Islanders defense shows up and is able to stop that powered Pittsburgh Penguins offense, I think that the New York Islanders could beat them.
Absolutely. So we got Islanders in seven and Bruins in seven. So far we're kind of on the same pace. Now we got
Yeah.
two more series to talk about for the weekend. The next one, give it to me. It's the number two Florida Panthers and the number three defending champions Tampa Bay Lightning. This is going to be a very good series too, Mario. The Florida Panthers are a really really good team to the surprise of everybody. Not a lot of people thought this team would be good. I personally thought they would be, and my God, they're a really good team, Mario. Um, they're 37, 14, and 5 with 79 points, which is really, really good, Mario. They have 3.36 goals per game, which is third in the league, which is really good as well. They have 2.7 goals against per game, which is 10th in the league. So it's good, but it's good, but not as good as other teams that we mentioned on this list. But it's top 10, so we'll take it. As for the Lightning, they're 36, 17, and 3 with 75 points. So they're almost about the same, they're only 4 points off, and their record is like, one win and one loss away, or something like that. They have 3.21 goals per game, which is ninth in the league, so that's pretty good. And they have 2.59 goals against per game, which is sixth, and it's tied with other teams in the league. So they are up there in the top 10, and not bad. Ooh, this is a tough prediction, Mario, because when you really look at it, they're almost identical. Just like how you said about the Bruins and Capitals, how they're almost identical. It's the same things going on here. This is gonna be a tough prediction. Um, yeah, this one definitely is tough. I'll go Lightning. I'll go Lightning in seven on this one. I think I got the defending champions. Oh God, it's so weird saying that. I think I got the Lightning going in seven games, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Panthers won the series. I'm not gonna lie to you, Mario. This is gonna be a really good one.
Absolutely, Nate. I really would have liked to see Sergei Bobrovsky versus Andre Vasilevsky. I would have thought. I think usually when they go up against each other, it's just classics. It really is. No matter which team's winning, Vasilevsky and Sergei Bobrovsky, I think, are two of the best playoff goalies in the game. But it's not Bobrovsky. Instead, it is Chris Dreiger. I'm going to be honest with you, Nate. I got the Tampa Bay Lightning winning this, and probably I'm going to be real with you. I got the Lightning winning this in five. I think the Lightning are going to absolutely beat the brakes off of Florida. Florida might win one, but then I don't think they're beating the Lightning. The reason why is because the Lightning are just too damn experienced. Now, going to the Florida Panthers, if this was Sergei Bobrovsky, I'd say I'd probably bump it up to 6 or 7, but I'd still have the Lightning. But Andre Vasilevsky, even if you look at the series where the Blue Jackets swept the Lightning, he still showed up. Vasilevsky was a great goalie, man, in those playoffs, and he is going to continue being a great goalie in the playoffs. That's just how Vasilevsky's made. He's just that premier goalie right there. When the lights shine bright, he steps up, and it's just as simple as that. And when you really look at the Tampa Bay Lightning, they got a crown to defend, and I don't think they're gonna get knocked out in the first round. So I'm gonna be honest with you, I got the Lightning in five.
Alrighty then. That's a pretty good prediction. And we got the last series for the weekend. This is gonna be another good one, Mario. Give it to me. It's the number two Vegas Golden Knights and the number three Minnesota Wild. I'm gonna be honest with you, Mario. This is gonna be a good one as well. Um they're the Vegas Golden Knights are 40, 14, and 2 with 82 points in the league, which is really good. They have 3.39 goals per game, which is third in the league. And they have 2.18 goals against per game, which is first. So they have a really, really good defense, Mario. They always had ever since they came into the league. Um, Now going to the Minnesota Wild, they're 35, 15, and 7 with 75 points, which is really good. They have 3.22 goals per game, which is eighth, and 2.76 goals against per game, which is 13th. Yeah, Mario, this is gonna be a good series, but this is gonna be a good series, and I mean good series for the Vegas Golden Knights. I'm gonna be honest with you, Mario. The Knights are gonna win this in five. And the reason why I say that is nothing against the Minnesota Wild. They're a really good team, and it took a while for them to get here. They haven't had much success in the last couple seasons. And while the Minnesota Wild are a really good team, the Golden Knights are just not only so much better, they score a lot of points. They have the best defense in the league, but they're just so like you said about the Lightning. They're too damn experienced. They went to the Western Conference Finals last year. They ended up losing to the Dallas Stars, but they still went. And ever since this team has come into the league, not only has it remained basically unchanged, but they've never missed the playoffs. So this team is extremely experienced. So at the end of the day, Mario, I got the Golden Knights winning the series in five. I don't think it's even going to be close.
I got a sweep.
You got a sweep?
I got a sweep.
Hmm?
First of all, Vegas ain't no joke. The Knights are no joke, Nate. They're not. Like they never
They
been a
never
joke.
have been.
Marc Andre Fleury has been a beast. He's been a beast
Hmm.
since. And I'm gonna be honest, he was on the Penguins. I think the Penguins screwed it up getting rid of him. I'm gonna be real.
Yeah, they did.
Marc Andre Fleury is just that guy. So honestly, Nate, and then you really look at that team itself. The Vegas Knights are a stacked team, Nate. Like they're not going anywhere. They're really not. They're gonna be in that championship. They're going to be in that championship title picture for a very, very long time, Nate. I can't see the Golden Knights not being in that picture or getting bumped out the first round. I can't see it this year. I can't see it. I really just can't. But I mean, when you really look at the team, Nate, I'm gonna go to the roster right now. When you really look at the team, it's a very, very good. It's a very, very good team, Nate. When you really look at it, when you really look at this team, besides Marc Andre Fleury, I think might be their best player, the goalie. But right after that, you got Robin Leiner, you got Ryan Reeves, you have Mark Stone, who's a very, very good player, William Karlsson. Like this team, and again, you also got to remember, Nate, this team was a bunch of rejects. There were a bunch of players that got rejected, and they ended up going and their first year going to the Stanley Cup Finals, and ever since then they've been a contender. Why? Because they've continued to live up to that expectation. I got the Vegas Knights in four. I'm going to be honest with you. Marc Andre Fleury is going to absolutely protect that net. Okay, I got the Knights in four. I think the Wild might have one close game. Other than that, I got Vegas winning it. I just think they're too overpowered. When you really look at those stats, Nate, those are stats that people shouldn't be taken for granted. I mean, they're top three in both categories that matter. It's like I mean, other teams they had like a top like three or a top 10 in one category, and the other category they had like the bottom. This team they don't play around, Nate. The Vegas Knights do not play around. So with that being said, I got the Vegas Knights winning it in four. I think it's going to be a sweep. I think it's going to be a very dominated series by the Vegas Knights. Again, nothing against Minnesota Wild. They got a good team, but I just don't think it's good enough to compete with that team who's had a lot of experience in just a short period of time.
Absolutely, yeah. Biggest Golden Knights have been an absolute powerhouse ever since they came into the league a few years back. They've never missed the playoffs, and a lot of people are going to be excited to see what this team can do. But yeah, that's it for the weekend series. There's more series on the way, but they're starting. The next one is going to start on Monday, so we'll talk about that on Monday. But with that being said, best of luck to every team playing. Best of luck to the front office executives. Best of luck to all the coaches and players, medical staff, all the staff that for the teams. Best of luck to them. And as always, you know how it be. Go Bruins! That's what we do here, man.